Hey guys, are we live? Testing the mic settings. Haven't done this in a while, so let's try to get back into the groove of things. Shout out to Stuart Cole. Welcome to the stream. There we go. My window was kind of small, so I couldn't see anything. All right, so Stuart, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Let's see. I got my. Hope you guys can hear me. All right, you can hear me. All right, good. All right, so what's happening, guys? What's up? What's up? Let me just grab my tea first. Okay, so Mr. Sandy Tarn is in the house. Hi, Sandy. It's good to see you. Hope everything's doing well for you. All good. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, I am just touching base because we've been busy. Well, ever since the start of 2022. And hey, Benham, nice of you to join. Long time no see. We're still here. All right. Okay, so basically we are trying to get things going again. You know, we have experienced a lot of factory kerfuffles that I cannot have any control over, right? And sorting things out. I guess there's no point to hey there, Jean Francois. Is that how I pronounce your name? Good morning from Canada. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so guys, again, as I was saying, lots of things happening, but mostly it would be the case of Caliber not delivering anything in recent memory, but that's because it's been a tough 2021, and you know, basically that whole year. I mean, once you have like a halt in operations, a hiatus, it's hard to get back into the swing of things, but I'm doing my best to do that. And of course, as I just recently showed on the Facebook, that we have the MiG 31 coming up, and I did mention this a while back in my other live stream of this year, and I'm just fulfilling that promise, right? So the MiG 31, uh, the prototype is basically a plastic 3D printed sample that you see. So what happened is that the first time round I did a rate wax 3D printed sample to sort of confirm the aesthetic, the overall profile of the model, right? It's really difficult to actually see the whole thing on the computer, even though the computer you can like move it around, but that's on the guy who's actually drawing the figure, the model, right? The computer that they're using is much more powerful, so therefore they're able to manipulate it, but I'm not there sitting next to the guy to see the model, so it's all transferred to me on what we call a PDF, which can be rotated. But that PDF again is, I mean, it requires a much more powerful system than what I have right here. I'm only using a little Mac Mini with an M1 chip, and that does not allow me to really really manipulate the model in such a way where you can see everything. And the fact is that even if I have that powerful machine, I can't see everything on the model because it is on the screen, and I you can't touch it, you can't move it around, you can't see it as it is in 72 scale. On the screen you can enlarge, you can reduce, it's just different, right? So what I did was I just confirmed the profile of the model, that it looks as good as it can be to replicate the Foxhound on 72 scale. And we output the prototype per se to do a final check on the model, because like I said just a few seconds ago, you can't really see what's going on the computer. But that particular prototype that I shared on the Facebook wasn't really very useful, because what happened was that the person that output the model glued everything together. So, I mean, the red wax is so fragile and brittle that if you glue everything together, I can't undo it. I can't, because it's so fragile. The moment you try to pry something, it breaks. That was kind of a dumb move, right? I can't do anything, right? So, hey, greetings, Mexico City, Valentine. Thanks for joining. So I can't really make use of that wax model that I showed back, I would say maybe last year. So this year, what we did was that we had to output another sample, and this sample again is not the kind of fine surface. It's a bit rough. Also because it is, again, it's 3D printed. It warps over time. Due to the temperature, the surroundings, the plastic just is the nature of the 3D printed material. It just warps, the wings bend and everything. So I had a hard time heating it up, putting it back together, and all these things. So it was kind of challenging, tedious. And when something is not really cooperating in a sense of its structure, I can't really do it properly. So what happened is that after I applied the effects on the model and achieved what I wanted to do, which is to explain to the factory this is how you're going to do it. You're going to put a base color. You're going to put what we call a shadowing color. We're going to put what we call a highlighting color. And we're going to put what we call a panel lining wash. So I showed the factory the steps to make them understand what I want to achieve with the model. So with that being done, hello Mario, welcome. Thanks for joining. So with that being said, I was able to convey what I wanted to do in regards to producing the model with the factory. And I basically stopped at the point where I showed you guys the videos of how we are going to attach the pylons and weapons and hard points with magnets. I wasn't going to go any further to put on markings and take like proper pictures, because again, like I said, as time goes by, the model is still trying to warp. So it's not in the best condition for me to have it stay the way I want it to be, in order for me to take proper pictures to present it as a advertisement, a sale image for you guys to put the pre-orders in. So what we're going to do is we're going to put up I'll probably do a short video on it, right? I'll probably do a short video. But what we're going to do is we're just going to put the profile of the scheme that we're going to be doing. And then we'll ask you guys, we'll put that on the website, and then we'll ask you guys to place your orders and make the prepayment for us so that we can get the tooling started. And this time around, we're going to deliver the model in 12 to 13 months time. Right. So in order to have this to work, we're going to start the orders in June, and I will give it like a 1 month period to gather the orders. If I don't get the orders in June, meaning that the project is a failure, then I will refund all the orders and we'll call it a day. That's it. Right. So if we do get the orders, then of course we will start as soon as possible, because there's no point in trying to gather orders for 2-3 months. If you add 2-3 months to the ordering process, that means your model will be arrived 12 to 13 months plus the 2-3 months that we have to wait for the orders to come in. So it has to be a very expedited, a condensed period of orders. So I hope that you guys can share. If you want the MiG-31 to be done, you guys can share it in your communities, your hobby shops, your friends, and spread the word. And we'll get the MiG-31 out as soon as we get the orders in that fulfills my 800 pieces of most minimum first run at the price point, at the early bird price point, because after that, the next time round, unless we do another early bird, is going to be at the retail price of 250 USD for one model. Now, having said that, why is it 250 USD? As I've just explained moments earlier, that this will be a model that's going to be fully weathered the proper way. It's not going to be like the models that we've did previously, like the Macross Zero F14, the Top Gun models. Those are not exactly weathering. Those are just an attempt by the factory to replicate what I want to do, but it wasn't exactly what I had in mind. But this time around, we're going to be doing it properly. You're going to have, the moment you get your hands on the MiG-31 and compare it against the F14 that has so-called the weathering treatment, you'll see the difference, right? So that is what we're going to be promising. Now, in my pictures, I have not yet completed the model, meaning that the nose still looks nice and clean, but it will be weathered as well. The nose will have toning on the nose, and most importantly, the exhaust afterburner cans is going to have that tint of copper color that is sort of highlighted from the actual base color gunmetal of the exhaust, right? As well as the magnetic attachments. There's going to be a ton of magnets being used on this model. These are the small magnets, as you have seen in the video, and the whole idea is that we don't have any more cases of pegging in a pylon, and you are frustrated because the paint was applied too thick or too thin, resulting in the fit being too loose or too tight. Right, so magnets will once and for all take care of things, and as I've demonstrated, the magnets are pretty sturdy. So 4 hard points for the R33, you're going to get 4 of those. And if you know about the missile, when it's actually mounted on the Foxhound, the fins, the rear fins of the R33 actually bent to accommodate to be housed on the belly of the aircraft. So I don't know what kind of technology it uses, such that when it releases from the launcher, it actually have the fins go back up. That's quite fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these options as well. So for you to change out the fins, so that if you want to display the R33 out of the aircraft, you can have the fins fully extended. And when you put it back into the aircraft, you will exchange the part and put in the fins that's folded, right? So the R33 missiles itself is going to have option exchanging parts, so to speak, right? So that's the level of detail there. And you have 4 of those. And on the wings, we're going to have 2 major hard points on each wing, carrying the fuel tank, as well as the R40. So these are also all attached by magnets, meaning magnet from pylon to wing and magnet from missile to pylon, as again demonstrated in the videos that I've posted yesterday. Same thing for the fuel tank. Again, pylon to wing its magnet, and then fuel tank to pylon its magnet as well. And then finally, we have the Kinzhal missile. It has a dedicated launcher by itself, and that launcher is going to go somewhere in the middle of the body of the Foxhound. That attaches on, and then the missile goes on as well, all by magnets. Of course, landing gear, right? So landing gear, we have the cartridges, we have a full assembled cut landing gear, including the extending flaps and all these things. The piston, which is not featured in my prototype, but it's going to be a piston there. The tires, everything as usual, rubber parts for the tires, metal struts, and the whole thing is just going to snap in exactly as what is shown on the video, right? So of course there's going to be the front landing gear as well. The front landing gear, same concept, right? And this time around, it wouldn't have any chance of it dislodging like some of you may have experienced with the F-14, because the F-14, when it was conceived much earlier on, the doors were actually glued onto the main structure or the main frame of that particular cartridge. So if you were to pull it out and the glue wasn't adhered properly, then you're going to pull out the door, right? So this time around, we're going to have it in such a way whereby it encloses. So the way it's going to be produced is that the entire cartridge is actually a flat piece at the point of injection, and then it folds up and latches on, right? One of those like latching device whereby once you latch on, you can't pull it out. If you pull it out, it's gonna break, right? But you're not gonna break it because it just latches on, meaning that once it latches on, when you pull it out, you're pulling the entire structure. There's no glue, nothing, right? So that's gonna be the improvement. Kasim, well, thanks for joining the stream. I'm okay. So landing gear, okay. And then of course the pitot is gonna have the same thing, separated into two parts, because obviously the one that extends out, the part that extends out directly from the nose has like intricate structures. You can't have that as metal, so it's going to be plastic, and then the pitot itself is metal. Now, unless things change, which I don't think it should, the nose is actually also metal. So unlike the F-16, which the nose is plastic for obvious reasons, for the Su-24, the nose is plastic for not so obvious reasons, right? Well, it's only because we had to glue it on, right? For the Su-24, we had to glue on the nose to the body, and you can't glue metal to metal. But this time around, there will be a screw that affixes the nose to the body, to the front fuselage from the inside, so that the nose is metal, right? Unless things take a turn and they realize that, oh, by doing this, it's going to expose some kind of gap between the nose and the front fuselage, then we got to revert back to plastic. So this is a warning first, right? We tried our best to make it as metal, but if things, if it affects the closeness of how the part attaches to the fuselage, then that could be one running change we're gonna be making. But all will be updated on our Facebook, right? So if you put in the order with us, you're gonna get the updates, just like how I run my ramen toy outfit, right? So if you head over to Facebook/ramen toy, which I'll probably do a stream after this if I get the credentials done. Okay, so over there you can see that when we do the products, we'll have constant updates for the collectors. we'll put out like test shots and stuff like that. We're gonna show them how it's progressing. In fact, all the things you see back there, it's all uh, mostly ramen stuff, right? Of course, there's some other stuff that's not ramen, but yeah. So basically, you're gonna get updates on the MiG 31 as we start the ball rolling. And again, I'm confident that we will start the ball rolling, unless otherwise stated that we have no response from the ordering period that the whole project is cancelled, right? So if and when we start the project, then I will give you guys the constant updates, which will start with even updating on how we're changing certain things on the prototype that we've seen, that I've seen, that doesn't work, and those things has to be changed. And that's the whole reason of a prototype, right? We have a prototype, we see how it goes. And the reason why I can't show like for example how the canopy works, because at the prototype, all these 3D printed clear parts are just so fragile and ridiculous that it cannot be done right at the prototype stage. But again, as you have seen my SU20 example, which was actually a tool that uses the same concept, right? So how the SU20's canopy opens up is the same concept we're using for the MiG 31, because like the Phantom, the MiG 31 has that center piece, which is very tricky on how you can actually make the hinge open up, right? So it employs exactly the same concept as the SU 20 fitter. So just to let you guys know. So going from nose to nozzle again, we're going to have a metal part for the pitot on the nose, followed by a plastic part for that intricate design, and then followed by a metal nose, followed by a front fuselage, again metal, and opening canopy. Of course, we will make sure that the canopy will have a good fit when it closes. I might have a contingency for a full frame one piece canopy as an option part, but currently that's not on the cards because it's just going to be too many things, right? So I'm still aiming for just the movable canopy, and I'm hoping that it's going to go as I mean, based on the experience that we've had with the previous toolings like the SU24 and the F14. So we're gonna make sure that we are able to make it close to collectors' expectations. So moving along, again, we're going from nose to nozzle. We're at the canopy, and then we have the intakes. So this time around, the intakes, we can't actually have any intake covers because the real intake covers on the MiG 31 are so deeply seated that I don't think I have yet an idea of how to put it there without it dropping inside, or yeah, just not a good idea. So we'll just leave it out. Maybe along the way, if I figure it out, then I will have a add-on piece with some kind of land crew set for you to put that air intake cover onto the MiG 31. But in the meantime, we'll leave it out. But we do have intake. We do have nozzle covers. So that's we have that. So again, as I've also shared a picture on Facebook previously of how you can see the turbine fan inside, deep in on the MiG 31. All right. So again, we're not going to be doing those conventional, putting the fans right smack in front of your face. Nope. It goes right in, which is why it's just a wonder of engineering, right? On this model, right? You have the intake that goes right in. You'll see the fans inside if you shine a light in, and at the same time, it accommodates the landing gear cartridge that actually goes alongside this tunnel of the air intake. All right. So we have that, and then again at the nozzle end, if you look in, you'll have the same depth that you will find the afterburner rings. These are all basic requirements of caliber models, right? Unless otherwise stated, like the SU24, where we can't really get the damn thing to go right in, then we have to like close it off there. You guys know, right? So basic stuff, right? You get your true to detail air intake depth, nozzle depth, and then comes the whole aircraft body. You have the panel lines, you have the rivet little details on the vertical stabilizers. You will see the details that I've already done based on the coloring. You see all the little rivets that is presented on the actual on the actual aircraft, right there on the model. So yeah, you know. Besides that, nothing much more to add other than it's going to look fantastic based on what we have done with previous toolings. You can see how it's going to be applied, and then with this weathering technique, it's going to look fantastic. So it's the cost of making it weathered, it's the cost of all the magnets, it's the cost of a one-time that kickoff of that tooling, and the fact that most of you would probably just buy one or two, maybe just one. So bear in mind the potential small runs of the MiG-31. The price is such. Okay. So yeah, let me see if there's any questions here to address. Yeah, again, we will talk about all these later on, because we can't just release an F-16 tooling and we've only done one wave and we're going to be revising the tooling. It just doesn't make any financial sense in that sense. So I will not be touching the F-16 tooling until we get some waves going out and some money coming in. All right. Hey, David, welcome to the stream. Ordnance and gears to be mounted via small magnets. Yeah, indeed it is. Hello, Andy. F-35, not so soon. Hey, Chris, thanks for all the support. Good to see you here. Right. So yeah, so that basically is the MiG-31. Right. If there's any more questions, you can let me know. But basically, that's it. I have. The model is pretty good, in my opinion. It will include pilots, of course, and there's going to be another surprise aspect of the MiG-31 that would be available for free to the early bird supporters, right? But otherwise, after that, it's going to be a separate purchase. I will let you guys know more details as and when I get this thing confirmed and working. All right. But just let you know, once it's done, it's going to be included as a item for the early bird orders. Yeah, definitely. So it's not been easy, because again, I'm not sure why, but I guess it's because I'm a small outfit, right? Just one guy doing this thing, and then for some reason I'm just met with. But I don't think I want to be talking about all these things, because it's just, I don't know, it's just gossiping about the factories, right? Like, you know. but it is what it is, right? The fact is that I have experienced not the best of luck in terms of manufacturing partners, um, and to the point where they are just totally unreasonable, and I don't know, it's kind of strange. It's kind of strange, right? I mean, you make all the effort to make the SU20 fitter. We even have drawings for the double seater, and yet we've not even come up with a single seater, and the project is all shelved because of the factory. Are you guys still hearing me? Because I'm seeing that the connection strength is not really that good. So I hope you're still hearing me properly. Just give me a Roger if you hear me properly on the comments, right? And if I ever drop out or sound unclear, please give me like a strength one or something, right? So radio check is always like strength five, right? So all right, Daryl, thanks for that. All right, good. Okay, so all right, hey, Benoit, welcome. Roger that. Okay, so as I was saying, so we have interesting journey because oh, video quality is low. All right, yeah, maybe yeah. That's why I'm seeing the indicator there that the signal strength is low. All right. So anyway, right now what I'm doing is that I'm reviving the fencer toolings and getting the fences ramped up because again I wasn't able to deliver on the digital camo because the factory just didn't want to do it. That's simple as that. They wanted to do the easy stuff, and the digital camo being too difficult, they just said we're not doing it, right? So pretty professional, right? I mean, so anyway, so I've taken the digital camo to another new factory, and and the thing is that the factory can't like the first thing that they do or the second or rather the third thing that they do is the most difficult thing. So that's why I put up three more fences as part of wave five. Is that right? One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, five. Wave five. All right. So as you have seen, wave five models are already up on early bird pre-orders on our website, and wave five models are all pretty much simple schemes, meaning not complicated camos and coloring, right? So, but still very interesting ones. You have the shark teeth from Ukrainian Air Force. You have the Russian Navy, which is the same bird as our Russian example for wave two, but in a different scheme, right? And another Russian version that has a much darker gray. So that'll be interesting, right? So we'll be giving the factory these orders alongside the digital camo so that we can get them to do these in tandem. So if we get it right, we will see all these four models delivered by the end of this year, before the end of this year. Right now it's really May, and they will take some time to produce it. But again, it should be within reason, and we will see the digital camo finally released by this year. Again, sorry for the delay, but it is what it is, right? Yeah. Um, the pre-order cost is 150 US excluding shipping. right? 150 US, excluding shipping. And so for James, the hustler is being drawn. That's for sure, right? It's going to take some time, but it's being drawn. I will have some updates in a bit, hopefully by next month. But it's being drawn. All right, it's being drawn from scratch. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to finish up all the things I talked about. Everything except for the Yak 130 because it seems like not a very good tooling. Although once I'm freed up, I will probably do it again because again, my goal is to deliver whatever I said, right? So, but that's something that's in the future. All right. So right now, the main thing is just to have the MiG 31 take off for tooling, and then get my S2 tracker tooling revised because at the moment it's still not up to manufacturing standards. Again, it's another long story with the old factory who told me in 2020 when we released CAD images of the tracker, followed by test shots, followed by even what wave one is going to be, because the factory said we'll get it out in December, the most January, February of 2021. But now in 2022, in May, we're still tooling. So that shows you the story of how, some people just are just bullshit. All right. Okay. So that answers the question. We're going to be doing the tracker first, and then we're going to be doing some F-16s. We'll talk about the next new tooling later because I still have the Hustler to finish and the U2 to finish. I believe those are the outstanding ones. And then we can talk about other stuff. Unfortunately, I am not including stands at the moment because I'm yet to really I'm yet to be satisfied with a stand, right? Um, the DM stands is not exactly what I had in mind. In fact, it was pretty badly designed, if you ask me. That's why I am not really interested in that because, again, it was developed for like freaking 2 years or more. I think it's more than 2 years, definitely more than 2 years because the stand was started before COVID, so it's more than 2 years. And in 2 years, we come up with such a pretty ridiculous thing. Anyway, so that's the stand. So I'm oh, it will come in a metal tin box, the MiG 31. All right. Um, the MiG 31 is going to come in a nice metal tin box. It's not going to be in the conventional cardboard packaging box. It's going to be in a tin box, metal tin box. So that's something to look out for, right? So the way it's going to happen is that you're going to receive the MiG 31 in a tin box with 4C printing, right? 4C printing of either our illustration, or if we find some, I guess no, I don't think I can find a nice real life picture of the scheme that I'm going to do. So probably it's going to be an illustration. So the illustration on the front And then this tin box is going to have a hinge. You open up the tin box, you're going to have the MiG-31 presented inside, going really high grade this time round. So yeah, that's how it's going to be. Leslie, the tooling is looking good, but there are problems with how it's going to be manufactured, right? The most important thing is that currently it is not possible to be manufactured. There are many parts that goes together like a model kit. I'm not sure how they did it, right? I mean, I again, the moment I saw those parts, I told the factory this is not going to work. How are you going to do it? But they assured me that it's going to be fine. Obviously, it's another bullshit right there. So now I got to spend even more money to redo parts that are already done as thin shells. So, for example, you got the engine cowling, right? The engine housing, the cowling, right? The nacelle, if I pronounce it correctly. Um, Instead of something that's sturdy that the factory can assemble, it's like two parts that goes together with a hollow inside. I mean, what the hell? So, oh man, it's just it's a pain. So the tooling is looking good to you guys, but it's not looking good for me because it cannot be produced in a manufacturing sense. That's the problem. All right, so it's going to need more work. So I'm extrapolating that this is going to take up another 2 months before we get a really good final tooling. So 2 months from now is going to be July. May, June, July. So we might still catch before Christmas for wave one of the trackers to be out. So basically, we will use 2022 to sort out all the shit that was created by the factory in 2020 and 2021, right? And 2023, we should have Caliber running as a pretty well-oiled machine. All right. So we are putting out the MiG-31 orders to all the distributors, but we have already told the distributors that you have got to give us upfront payment. So how the distributor will handle your order or how the retailer on your local site will handle it, I'm not sure, but everything will be laid out from us to them. And our prerequisite is that once they put in the order, whether it's 12 pieces or 24 pieces, the money's going to come in by July, right? So that's how it's going to work. If you get it from our website, you have to pay us directly. If you get it from your local vendor, then you deal with them, whichever way they want it to be done, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this question is because I'm not sure what aircraft has the digital camo similar to Su-57 because we don't have the Su-57. Yes, so Mario, that's 150 without shipping costs. And I'm extrapolating shipping to be quite hefty because most likely we will engage a courier service versus the post office because we've had, I think I've pretty much had enough of post office because the thing about the post office is that in the current scenario, the current situation, the post office is still not reliable because we have people who we give them a tracking number on the e-packet, but they just don't receive it. And that's not what I like because not just me, the customer, right? How can the customer pay for something and then they don't get it? And then we are caught between a rock and a hard place, because now we have to either replace the customer with a model that we shouldn't because it's already sent, or refund them. So it's not a good situation. So the safest way is to go with a courier service, and this courier service is going to cost because they charge by volumetric weight, as I've experienced with my ramen toy products, right? So be prepared, but in any case, it's going to be less than 250 USD, right? The actual retail price plus the shipping, because we're giving this 150, as a very incentivized price for you to get. I mean, you support us, and we will get the model out to you. That's it, right? And that's what we require for a minimum 150. And then if you add on the shipping, I'm guessing, right? I'm just guessing, it could be around 60 US dollars to ship the MiG 31 by courier. I'm guessing, right? To the US. So be prepared for that. Hey, Sebastian. Yeah, it's been kind of difficult for me to stream, apart from the last time where I needed to stream, because I'm handling a lot of stuff, ramen toy and caliber wings. So it takes up my energy and time. And for me to be on a 9 p.m. to stream is kind of rare, because by the time I get back, it's already 9 p.m. Today, I am not at the factory. So I decided to, put together this time to get in touch with you guys and do a bit of correspondence so that you guys know what's happening. At least, 23 of you here can hear me one-on-one, and then you can disseminate the information, share it around, and get it going. But yeah, I mean, I would love to stream more often, and I will probably do that once we get the MiG 31 going. But in the meantime, I would say the second quarter of this year has been pretty turbulent, right? Bit of turbulent, and yeah. So that's all I have to say. No, the problem is that the SU 17, 20, 22, the tooling is not done by the people that will be doing the MiG 31 tooling. And of course not, because the people who did the SU 20 tooling screwed it up. They screwed it up by being not professional to make it to the most basic of standard. I mean, everything was almost there, except for some part. But that's important part, because at that moment, at that last test shot that I got, when you move the wings, you're still scratching the paint, because they sprayed a layer of primer over it. And when I'm doing the movement of the wings, I'm scratching the primer off. So if you can scratch the primer off, you can scratch the paint off. And how can you buy a caliber wings model and move the wings and scratch the paint off? It has to be fixed, right? So they didn't fix it, right? They didn't fix it. And the pylons, I mentioned to them that the pylons on the fitter share certain pylons with the fencer. So please put the fencer pylons on the fitter pylons so that it fits the missiles that we've planned, that we've already done for the fencer, which will also fit the fitter. but it was not done. In the test shot that I received, no weapon, no missile can fit on the fitter because I don't know. They decided to use. I mean, they got the profiles of the pylons there, but the attachment points are totally new, meaning that you cannot fit any of our existing missiles that we've already tooled for the fencer on the fitter. And what's the point? What's the point? You want me to tool new missiles that fits the fitter exclusively? Why? So, but apart from that, the magnet system on the fitter was pretty good, as I demonstrated. Uh, yeah, the fitter just couldn't work for me because of number one, the no attachment points of pylons, rubbing of the swing wings that causes pain, scratching. And number three, I think if I'm not mistaken, there was this seam line on the fuselage, which is very, not just seam line, it was like almost like I don't know. I'm not sure if it was a seam line they were trying to get off, and hence they filed off. I mean, the fitter is a very nice curved shape. So if you have a flat filing off, that's not right, isn't it? But that's what I saw on the test shot. So because the factory that took the for JC wings, so they're taking it back to do it, and most probably JC wings will release the fitter. So that's it won't be caliber because it's not to my standard, and I've explained this before, right? So, and I tried to do it. I tried to bring the fitter back myself and approach the new people to do it. But because I couldn't get well, first of all, it's kind of like this. I've already paid it's going to cost for the tooling, and we've paid a part of it. Now, for us to get the tooling back, we have to pay the original guy the full amount that we agreed upon. But the full amount that you agreed upon means you're getting a workable product, not a substandard product, isn't it? In addition, not only if I get the tooling back at that particular state, I got to reinvest money and get another guy to tool it, which adds to the cost. But not only that, I need the original files, because the guy who takes over the tooling can't just, let's just do it. Everybody, any tool maker requires the original files that you use to make this tooling, to revise the tooling. And I'm not getting these files, you see, because I'm not paying the guy what he wants that we agreed upon. And I'm not paying him because I'm not getting what I want. You see the whole picture of the fitter? So the final word is they will just take it back and do whatever they want with it. And once JC gets it out, I think they'll pay me back my money that I put in for the tooling. So that's the thing. Yeah, I think I've said enough. Yeah, I mean the router stands is universal. You can prop up the model with the router stand for the MiG 31. Not a problem at all. Let's see. SF Express doesn't really work for anywhere other than in the region, I think. So we can do SF Express to Singapore, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure because what we're doing now is we're engaging a actual like a logistics company, and they will actually find the service that works best for that particular destination. So it could be TNT, it could be FedEx, it could be DHL, right? Whatever, right? They will do it. But most important thing is that it is considered as a courier, meaning it won't get lost. Meaning there's accountability. We're gonna get the model to you within a reasonable time, bearing in mind the pandemic is still ongoing, right? And flights and stuff is not exactly like business as usual, right? So with all this considered, the courier service that we're using will get the model to you within reasonable time, right? So when I say reasonable time, it could be like a week, right? Even though you're paying so-called express, but express doesn't mean 2 to 3 days. It still means that they have to get it onto. I mean, even DHL is not 2 to 3 days. I got a package from DHL that took like freaking 3 weeks to get to me. So we have to try and understand, all these constraints, and we should be good. Okay, so I'm not going to go into all these things because I really can't. Apologies. All right. Yes, they screwed up very badly, and I can spend a whole day talking about 2020. I mean, it started in 19, isn't it? I started the fitter in 19, so it's been like freaking 3 years, you know. So I can spend a whole day talking about it from start to finish, but it's just wasting my time. So will it be a ready-made MiG 21? What do you mean, Hendrik? So what? Okay, let me just pull it up. Hold on. Let me see if I can share my screen. Hold on. Let's see. Um, so I'm just trying to find the image so I can explain the question, the answer. Okay, so okay, okay. So let's share the screen. All right. So this is the chosen livery for the first model. All right. It's blue oh 09, 9 blue. It is uh, with that tail number as shown there, and this will be the model, the aircraft that you will get in diecast once you pre-order, which will be delivered to you 12 to 13 months after we close the pre-orders, after we close the successful pre-orders, right? And it will come with lots of stenciling details. Um, let's see. Let me pull up the. Okay. So open with preview. There we go. So I'm going to remove this first. And share. Stop screen first. Share screen. Share screen. I mean, you can see all this on the. Okay. So you can see there that it's going to have all these stenciling details on the model, right? So it's gonna be nicely stenciled. That you can be rest assured. No need to worry about that. Okay, including the sealant on the canopy, right? The pinkish looking lines. All right. So yeah, does that answer your question, Hendrik? Frank, Top Gun Maverick news? No, there's no Top Gun Maverick news. Yes, so I think I explained that, right? The MiG 31 will be a ready-made. Is there is there a question? Is in ready-made example? I don't understand. So basically, that's what it is, right? It's going to be a completed model of that exact scheme. Alex, I would get to that when I get there, because right now the main thing is for me to get the second wave of F-16s out and then get the third wave going so that I can get the fourth wave in planning stage. For the tracker, I got to get the tooling done before I think about the second wave, because if you don't have if you don't have the tooling done, there's no point to plan what you're going to do if the things that you're doing it with is not even done yet. So yeah, I wouldn't go that far now. As I mentioned, if the tooling is completed in July, then if we get the first wave out, then we can swiftly announce the second wave. So I think, like I said, just minutes earlier on this stream, 2023 would be, you can get streams. I mean, you can get announcements of what we're going to be doing for trackers, F-16s, F-14s, and fences going forward. So 2023 plus, of course, B-58. So B-58, the moment I get the drawings done, I will obviously share. And this time around, we'll get the drawings done, right? Previously, it was just, again, a big mistake. So, yeah. Yeah, you guys can go check out Top Gun in the theaters. It's not yet showing in China, so I'm also waiting. Okay, guys. So basically, that's what I wanted to share on this stream. to basically tell you guys about the MiG-31. That's the highlight of the year, I would say, because I'm going to choose to have you guys support the project by putting in the money upfront and wait 12 to 13 months for me to tool the MiG-31. So unlike all the figures that I'm doing where the tooling can be completed within like 40 days, 45 days, 50 days, a die-cast metal aircraft is a totally different animal, and we have sat down and talked about it seriously. And no matter how fast we start the tooling of a die-cast aircraft of this detail, I mean, if the MiG-31 is just going to be a shell, that's it, we can do it end of the year for sure, right? Give me July to start. I'll deliver it in December, no problem, because it's just a shell and that's it. But no, we're not doing a shell. We're doing all these parts that fits, and it have to fit properly. The landing gear that goes in has to stand up straight. It has to prop the model up straight, not slanted, not to one side. All the intricate lines and everything has to be done to the T. There are various parts that holds the model together that needs to fit properly. Any one thing that doesn't fit affects the other. If the afterburner cans are not seated in the aircraft properly, it affects the model closing. If the cans are not tooled properly, it affects. Anyway, so everything is interconnected. So the fastest with assurance is 12 months. If we can do it faster, obviously I will announce it to you guys, but the safety net for us is 12 to 13 months. So that's the crux of my stream that I want to tell you guys about, which is the MiG-31, and of course a bit of explanation on those delays. Again, the tracker was something that should have been done much earlier, but there was, again, I'm stating the obvious, right? It's just not done, and I'm doing it. And also the elevator is another fiasco, right? We showed the elevator in 2020 October. 2020 October. So 2021 October came and left, and we're heading to 2022 October. So that's going to be 2 years, right? I've basically washed my hands off the elevator, and somebody else is taking over the project. And once it comes out, it comes out. If it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out. But yeah, whatever that comes out is not my job. It's not my work. So please critique with the proper knowledge. So yes, the Hustler is 72 scale. All right. Okay, guys. An hour. We're in an hour. I think I've said my piece for today. If there's any more questions, we can consolidate something in the comments on the Facebook, and I'll look at it and I will bring it up for the next update. In the meantime, please do share the MiG-31 with the community as much as possible. Let's get those orders in when I get the ordering page up on the 1st of June. All right. Most probably I'll also include the shipping details as well. So you'll be paying the price of the model plus shipping at one go. And yeah, That's it, right? That's it. So yes, done sharing. Thanks a lot. Okay, guys. So I think I will call it a night for now. Apologies if I seem a bit agitated, because as I talk about the agitating stuff, I can't help it but get a bit, worked up. But that's the whole idea. Thanks, Joe. So yeah, um, I will be talking to you guys really soon again. Again, now is the 24th of May. We have a few more days before the end of May. I will be basically working on whatever I can in terms of the current projects. Again, F-16 Wave 2, they're doing it. They're saying that it's going to be end of June. I don't know. This is still the old factory, right? Because again, they've held my models hostage. They wouldn't not they wouldn't let me not do it with them, because I had wanted to bring all the models out of the factory and have it done somewhere else, but they said no, they want to do it. So okay, fine. But that is the last thing they're going to be doing for me, the F-16. So if they if they don't do it properly, I can't help it. Meaning that there will be no QC. Uh, that's it, because they're not gonna let me sit down and QC one by one, since they know that this is the last order. So it's just gonna be done exactly as per what they have done. Again, the the special version Joy Rogers was not QC by me as well. I never approved that color, uh, because they screwed up the color. Right? It's supposed to be a nice light gray highlight color, but they chose to use yellow. Okay, so that is not. I was like, I mean, they were not going to redo it. I got to take it as it is. So I said, this is not my stuff. You guys, I'm not going to do it. So same thing is going to be no QC for the F-16 Wave 2. So whatever that they deliver is going to be what it is. And then from then on, we'll just try to do better stuff with a new factory. All right. All right. So that's it, guys. I've done enough ranting. Just let me carry on to do the models for you, removing backlog, putting in the new stuff, improving the manufacturing process with reliable people going forward, and let's get more of the hobby going from this point forth. I've plans to even have you guys come up and join me on a stream and talk about certain things. Have the people that is involved, like me, the photographers. I'd like to have them on to chat on a subject that they have taken pictures of, for example, and let's have a chat. And yeah, let's put more into the hobby than just a die-cast piece of metal. Let's have people involved, which is why on the Wave 2, on the packaging, you will see certain information about the aircraft. For example, the MiG Killer. Why is the MiG Killer not the MiG Killer? Because at the point of time where the pilot shot down the MiG, the F-16 wasn't painted in that particular, MiG Killer thing, right? You wouldn't know that you're going to kill a MiG and paint yourself a MiG Killer on the way, right? So anyway, so I gave some history about the aircraft, why it is what it is. At the same time, on the Primo, some write up on how it was the last performance by Primo himself at the air show due to the COVID situation, air shows being cancelled. So yeah, I'm trying to put more story and personality to the model, and that comes with interaction. That comes with giving more background and stuff like that. So yeah, and there's lots of you guys who have lots of knowledge on the various subjects, even like Alex there, right? Alex Leslie, who has a wave of information with the tracker in front of him. So I think we could have Alex come up and talk about the tracker and then learn more about the model that we're making, the model that you're buying, things that I don't know about that he knows that we can share. So yeah, I think this going forward, this will be what I would like the streams to be. I will reach out to you guys and we'll come on at a time where it's convenient. I'll have you on the screen. We'll talk about certain things. We can entertain some questions, and then let's get this hobby done this way. I think it's more enjoyable. All right. So in the meantime, I will bid farewell to the last few comments. That thanks for the update. No, thank you for joining the stream. And yeah, looking forward to 2023 definitely. Right. There's still lots of 2022 left, and there will definitely be caliber models coming out. Not to worry about that. But 2023 will be the year where we fix the stuff, fix the problems of this year, and then let's move on to the next year with much more smooth flowing and more models. All right. So with that, on that note, thank you guys for joining me for the past hour. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys really soon. All right. Take care and have a good week ahead.